Alright, let's see if this works. Over here. It's supposed to over here. Sweet. Alright, let's see if this works at all. So set that there. Go and share this bad boy out. Might check and see if it actually working. Hey David, how's it going? Testing out a kind of new service, experimenting with. Supposedly I'm live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time right now. So I'm seeing how this all works out. So I'm going to go over to my Facebook page here and make sure it's shared out to everywhere. Go over to my Facebook page here. Oh, yeah, it's working. Sweet. That'll work. Alright. Had a fun day today. Didn't have a load, but ended up going for a nice little walk, working on my vlog. Going up to 2 different trucking companies and checking them out. Hey, we're up to 2 people. Yay. So. So hopefully everyone's having a good night. I am parked at the Loves in Searcy, Arkansas right now. Just chilling out, waiting for my load. Probably get one person in the morning. So that chat's quicker than that chat. So I got like 2 different softwares running right now. So if you see me looking at different spots, it's kind of checking out everything, making sure all this is up and working correctly. So tonight's just kind of an experiment. Gonna be BSing with you guys, seeing what's going on. Yeah, that's what's up. Cold in Florida. What the temperature? I know it dropped, so it's getting cold inside the truck. It's 41 degrees out right now, so it's not too bad. Crowbar. Am I thinking about leaving Prime? I'll just say I'm not stuck here. If I want to leave, I can leave, but I don't have any definite plans on staying, or definite plans on quitting, I should say. So my options are always open. If something else better comes across, it's gonna be, it's what it is, and go from there. But I am pretty happy with everything that's going right now, even though I didn't have a load today. But the loads here should be working out pretty good. So how's everyone doing tonight? Tail end of this cold is kicking my butt. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's in the 40s here. When you get to us from somewhere else, can you still come from? Yes, you can. Depending on your experience level, though, you may have to go up the train. If you're literally coming straight from CDL school to Prime, you're going to have to do 30,000 miles as a team truck with a trainer. So, but you can come in. One advantage to that is you're not locked in on the year-long contract as you would for if you came in with just your permit, or got your permanent Prime and then went through the training. So that is an advantage. But kind of the disadvantage though is unless you get it paid through for one of the working programs, like the state programs for it, for your CDL, if you stick it out a year at Prime, that CDL cost is free for the schooling, compared to like Roadmaster, where I believe it's somewhere between like $5,000 and $8,000 that you have to pay to get your CDL. So make sure you weigh out your options and all that before you figure out what you want to do. So went up. I got the video edited. Got to upload it still, but went up and checked out Conley and Bowerman, two trucking companies here in Searcy. Pretty cool. You'll see the video. Bowerman's got some sweet looking trucks. I'm just wondering, give me a second, I'm trying to figure out why I don't got anyone in on Facebook yet. Bear with me for a sec here. So it is live. So let's share it over here. Get some people. That's what I'm thinking. Trying is to get my CDLs. Try to come to Prime. Yeah, as long as it makes financial sense for you, man, do what you got to do. I would suggest looking at the whole picture, compare them out, make sure you're not going to be paying an arm and a leg for to get your CDL compared to coming to Prime, if that's where your end goal is to come to Prime, because you'll be kind of better financially set compared to owning a trucking school. Some money. If it's accredited, Prime will reimburse you. I think it's up to like $1,500, but if you owe like $5 to $8 grand, that ain't nothing. So down to 2 viewers. So trying to see, get some of my Facebook people in here, so I want to make sure the chat and all that's working on that side. But yeah, I have no future plans on immediately leaving, but if someone comes with a great offer tomorrow, it's not going to stop me from leaving. So trying to go over some stuff that's going on. I know Prime just offered a new regional position, or kind of dedicated, for the Springfield, Missouri on the tanker side for non-food grade, because they just bought up a company, so they're looking to add more people to that. So if you live in the Springfield, Missouri area, contact me or go right to Prime's Facebook page, and they have it on there for that account. Hey, Facebook user. Hey, Josh. It's actually working. Sweet. So, alright, that one's not going to show my Facebook chat. This one is. Alright, Adrian asks, all leases at Prime the same length, or do they deliver, or do they differ? For reefer trucks, the lease is, when it hits the yard, it's a 3-year lease. For flatbed and tanker, it's a 4-year lease from when that first person starts the lease on the truck. So if you get the brand new, no one else is in it, it's 3 or 4 years. If you get a used truck, it's that remainder of the time that's left on that lease, if that makes sense. So if once it hits the fleet, then it's 3 or 4 years, depending on what division. So I hope that helps. That makes sense. How often does Prime hire out of Florida? There is a line. I know that Prime doesn't hire out of Southern Florida. You want to be kind of almost towards the Jacksonville area, I believe. So it's gonna contact a recruiter for sure on that. I know there is a line, because we don't do a lot of freight besides our Floral division that's towards Miami. How's it going, Chad? John, this is pretty much just going to be, I'm testing out software. I'm actually live and chatting with people on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So if you see me looking that direction, which is actually my left, it's looking at the chat, checking out what everyone's saying. So it's kind of a free for all. Ask any question you like. I'll go over anything. Nothing's off the table. So just kind of BSing, seeing what's going on with everybody, and making sure this all works out okay. Davis, better go lease your company. That's kind of one of those tough questions. It's personal for you. Um, it's Going lease is a risk. You could have a paycheck, you could not. You tend to make more as a lease driver as long as everything. Um, you have options to, or sorry, brain fart there, guys. Lease, you have a lot more risk, but a lot more profitable. Damn, this cold. Um, so it's kind of risk versus reward for a lease. If you're planning on teaming, I would suggest lease because you get made more money. For starting out in the industry and not really knowing too much business wise, freight lane wise, or anything else, I kind of suggest going company first, even if it's for like 3 months or whatever, to make sure that this is what you want to be doing. Get through a couple home times because it's going to be completely different going from training and having somebody with you compared to solo on the truck by yourself, and everything falls on yourself. So I always suggest go company first. Make sure this is what you want to be doing. For lease, when I say you go lease, is when you're ready to be able to go um, full time and understand that you're going to be committed to that lease for that length of term, whatever's left on it, except for um, if it's a if you have the option to walk away. So, but if you're going into a lease, you go into the mindset that you're going to finish it. So that's why I always suggest going company first. uh, have I done team? Are you open? I have done team for a friend that came back into the industry, came back to Prime. I have no plans on any time in the near future going team at all. The count I'm on, it's solo, and it would not make sense to put a team driver on the truck with me right now. John, so I'm screaming when put me towards a lightweight. Do I actually have a choice or not really? Alright, as far as that goes, this is actually a really good topic. So when you come into upgrade, they are going to push you to go to a lightweight truck. My best bet is find out who your company fleet manager is and go and talk with them. Um, you have the option to go to a full-size truck, but they need to approve it. Now there is a downside to that is if a lightweight becomes available before you have before a full size, they stop paying for everything. So you lose on your guarantee, and I believe you lose your hotel room payment. So kind of be prepared for that until you get into your truck. So that's how they kind of twist your arm a little bit to get a lightweight. But if you want a full size, go and talk with your fleet manager and get it approved before you go into before you fully go into upgrade. So that's what I definitely recommend you doing. So there's a super long wait for full size. Yeah, that's kind of one of the major issues is they're having a delay on full size trucks getting in, especially Freightliner. It's an issue down at the border because the trucks are coming out of Mexico. So it's one of those give or take on whether or not you want the sit and wait for a full size or getting on the road right away. right away. Or you have kind of the in-between is if you're desperate to get out there and get a paycheck and get going, jump in that lightweight, rock it for a couple months, and then tell your fleet manager you want to upgrade to a full size. And if he asks why, just tell them either you're going to have somebody riding with you, you're going to have a pet with you, or say that you tried out the truck and it's just too small and you want a full-size truck because of more room. Jeff, great videos, excellent content. How do you deliver the info and how you deliver the info? Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it. Anyways, I'm going out with my TNT training on Friday. So, best advice I give you for a TNT, it's going to be run. Make sure you got your basics covered. If you have questions, you need to be waking up your trainer. Don't be afraid to wake up your trainer if you have a problem. I know some of my students, it was they said, oh, I don't want to wake you because you get angry or you're grumpy when I wake you up. Yes, we get grumpy when you wake us up in the middle of sleep. It's kind of be the same way. If I wake you up in 2-3 hours after you fall asleep, you're going to be grumpy too. Just deal with the trainer being grumpy, get you through the situation. It's better to wake them up and help you get through the situation you're in than you hitting something, getting stuck, doing a U-turn in somewhere that you're not supposed to be doing a U-turn, or whatever else, rolling the truck or anything while they're asleep because you're too afraid to wake them up. So that's kind of why we get paid the way we get paid as a trainer, is for you to wake us up and help you out through these issues. I don't know what you mean as a full size or lightweight for company as well. Don't know what you mean by that. Going company. Jeff, have you ever been a trainer with Prime? Yes, I was. Kind of give you my background on that. I was a PSD instructor only when I first became a trainer. I did that for about, I'm trying to think now, about a year. I was just doing PSD only, but I was a company driver. Then some circumstances happened, decided to go back OTR and switched over to lease, and that's when I started doing both. And I did that for approximately 2 years. Now I'm just solo and I'm on a dedicated account, so I'm not training anymore right now. Oh, Leander, sorry if I butcher your guys' names. I kind of suck with names, but Owens, I have 319 miles on my first flatbed truck. Will probably tell me to come back in for another. It's not too mileage based. It is before 500,000. So let's say your truck is a Freightliner and it's your truck number 66. So that truck was issued in 2016. So that truck should be turning in sometime 2019. You can call up the leasing department and they'll tell you when the lease is up on that truck. The other kind of issue that they don't really kind of tell you about with that too is your truck can be sold at any time. So you can literally get a phone call saying that we're rerouting to the terminal and you got to turn your truck in because it's sold. So that can happen. It's not all that common, but it can happen. My reefer truck that I turned in, what did I have on that thing when I turned it in? 365? Yeah, it was 365,000 miles on that when I turned it in. So they don't really go too much off of mileage as long as I believe it's under. I think if you start getting over 400,000, then they'll might might route you in to get a new truck. How do you minimize your fuel cost? Fuel cost is kind of one of them tricky issues. Best bet is looking at where your company gets the best fuel discount at, between Pilot, Loves, TA, Pilot, or Petro. So, and then between there, it's minimize your idling. Some tell you manage your speed. I run 65 everywhere. My fuel cost has dropped down to between 6 cents and to 8 cents a mile right now. So I'm actually getting, my MPGs are kind of right around 8.9 miles per gallon, but my fuel cost is about 0.06 to 0.08 per mile. So it's kind of better to kind of run your truck, do tests on it, do it 65, then run it at 60, see what your truck's getting better for fuel economy, and then other than that, it's just watch where you get fuel. Charles, yeah, you don't want to see a fat man do a backflip. I think I would land on my head, or it'd be more like a back flop. David asks, when you get your CDL, is it better to go OTR or local? Most companies are going to require you to have some sort of OTR experience before you can get a local job. After that, it all depends on what you're looking for to get out of trucking. If you're looking for more of a Monday through Friday, then I'd suggest local. If you're looking for better pay and all that, it's kind of got to look at what's in your area. I can't really tell you what's going to work out best for you. It's going to be all up to you. Jeff asked, do you enjoy the dedicated enough variety? Jeff, with this dedicated, we run 5 stores. It's not a whole lot of variety, but the money's there, so you kind of get used to it a little bit. There's one road where I got to drive pretty much back and forth every day. I'm driving through Memphis, Tennessee every day, so it just, you kind of get used to it. I do. You guys are nothing but a road hazard. How are we a road hazard, Jason? What, because we can only do 65? You know, the minimum speed limit's 40 miles per hour, right? People. As Charles on my Facebook said, most local jobs do require at least 2 to 3 years experience OTR. I'm making sure I don't miss anyone here. So, it's kind of awesome I got this set up. As I said, I am live on my Facebook page and on YouTube at the same time right now. So either which way, you guys can watch me. Larry's asked, am I leasing or company? I am leased now. I am actually on my second lease. I am going to do up a video talking about the completion of my last lease and what the whole process is. It's super easy. I won't tell you the dollar amount that Prime paid out for my lease buyout. It's based off of mileage. I'm going to get that rate so I can give it to you guys, so that way you can kind of get an accurate number on what you should be expecting. Adrian commented, appreciate all the info you're putting out, my friend. Hey, that's what I'm here for. Trying to help out as best as I can. Red Bull. As I said earlier, I went out for one of my vlogs. Went out and checked out a couple trucking companies. Got putting their information out there. They're both kind of local. I know one does run off 48, but they do require the 2 years experience. So I'm gonna show you out there. They got some cool trucks. So, all right. So we got more questions here. Jeff asked, can you discuss reefer trucking? Time you have to wait to load, unload, percent of live loads. With that all depends. I would say you're going to be roughly almost at that 50% drop and hook compared to live unloads and loads. It is what it is. We do get detention time after 2 hours at most places. If it differs, it's on the load assignment information. So you kind of got to look at that, especially as a lease driver. There is one place that's in Oklahoma. It's a meat place. I forgot what it is. But per our contract with them, they do not pay any detention whatsoever. So you kind of got to look into that. I got screwed because the load was like a day and a half late. So I wasn't happy about that. But my fleet manager did give me layover pay for it. So it did help out a little bit. But next time I know I will refuse that load if I ever do that again. Intermodal on the company side, I think Charles coming. I think the only company right now. Actually, I think there is company out of Chicago too. There, Charles, is in California. I'm not completely 100% sure on that or not. Your best bet is get with the intermodal guys, John Harden and all of them, and they will be able to fully discuss it. Because I think they're talking about maybe even adding some more on. So get with them, and they will be able to tell you the full details on all that. My personal opinion as a lease driver on intermodal, it's not enough money, and I'm just going to leave it at that. So, work local for the past 2 years, switched to regional 6 months so far. It's really awesome out here. Thanks for your video, Jacob. Helps a lot. Hey, no problem, man. I appreciate you watching my videos and taking the time and commenting and supporting the channel. Adrian, I'll be at Prime next month. We're looking forward to this experience. Best bet is make sure that you are studying for your permit test. Get those 4 sections down: your combination, general knowledge, air brakes, and tanker. Make sure you have those things studied and you're ready to go. Use the CDL test thing apps that you can get, and make sure you're ready to pass that test as soon as you get there. It's going to make your life a lot much easier, that much easier, and also come in and understand that, be ready to work, take notes on everything. So if you do that, you'll be successful, man. Hey, Steven, how's it going? Saw your picture at your new company, your good old Seahawks truck. Tim comments, hello, planning on applying to Prime. If everything goes okay, do they give you a date to go? Yes, orientation starts every Monday. Your recruiter will get with you as long as you're approved to come in. They'll organize your wonderful Greyhound bus ticket and when you would be heading out. So I set it up, and I recommend, if you can, trying to plan on being there Sunday, because there's always problems with the Greyhound bus, and you do not want to be rolling in freaking first thing on Monday morning on that Greyhound bus and then jumping right into class. It's going to suck. So try and work it out so you can get there a day early. I know my PSD with Intermodal in Salt Lake City. Yeah, Salt Lake City is kind of a different animal. They do the modal PSD training out there because they are that close to the terminal. I don't think you can do it PSD training with intermodal anywhere else because it's too hard to get in and out of the terminals. But Salt Lake City, they're in and out of that terminal all the time, so it's not too bad. David asked, what would disapprove you from coming to Prime? Background check, certain felonies, criminal records. Make sure you disclose all that. Work history, make sure you're at your job your current job for at least a year. If not, make sure you have your W-2s and all that. There's going to be some more information. Pretty much be straightforward on everything on your application and with your recruiter. If you lie or try to hide it, they will find it, and the worst case is you will be sent home. If you had a felony 15 years ago, I highly suggest you disclose it, even though the records say, even though their records say that they only require, let's say, 5 years for your criminal background. Because when they run your full background, they're going to run all the time frame. So make sure you do disclose all of it to your recruiter before you get there, because otherwise you will get sent home for not disclosing it. So, and it has happened to people. Steven, flying in might take me easier on the Greyhound ride can really drain you. Yeah, if you can afford to fly in, hitch a ride. If you know someone that's already at Prime that can give you a ride to the terminal, I've done that to a couple people. If you rent a car, they will reimburse you the ticket for your Greyhound ticket. So if you kind of look at if you can get a cheap rental car to Springfield or wherever you're going for your orientation, I would highly suggest getting a rental car over the Greyhound ticket. Just saying. Tim, so if I apply this Friday, take the following week or so far out. Tim, it literally all depends on your background. I've seen literally where they can approve you the same day. It could be the next day. I've seen where it could take up to a month. It all depends on your background and your initial checks that they do. So my best bet is if you put your application in, give them a couple days. For like, say if you did it like put your application on Friday, give them till like Tuesday. Call in, talk with your recruiter. Just say it's like, hey, I'm just checking out, making sure there's nothing I missed, anything else you need from me, and just kind of follow in with them at least once a week if you don't hear from them. But usually you'll hear back real quick, and as soon as you're approved to come in, they will set it up for that following Monday. So if everything comes back on your, say you put in your application today, everything comes back in on Friday that everything's good, and they have room in Monday's orientation, they can't set you up to come in that quick to go through orientation. So, but it all depends on your background. Man, I'm in PST. I can't seem to pass my permit. If you're talking about either your permit test, okay. Well, I highly suggest. I don't know what they are. Get on your phone. They have go on the Play Store, Apple Store. They have CDL test apps. I forgot what they are. If anyone can comment, that if you know what the CDL test prep question apps are, yeah, on either Facebook or YouTube, please let me know so I can let him know. Yeah, that's if you're not digesting that information, get on those apps and sit there and answer those questions over and over and over and over again. Alright, so Lender Owen said DMV Genie. So get that on your phone, and pretty much I would suggest get off of this with me. Get on the phone download DMV Genie and start going through all those questions. It's a lot of those questions. It's repetition. They change up the wording to make it one's correct, one's thing. So make sure you just keep on hammering that out. Best bet for you, because if you don't pass those things by Friday, they will send you home, I believe. So make sure. And then they're saying also CDL prep. Get on those and start hammering that out, man. I don't know, background check. The only thing I have is recent is a misdemeanor. Yeah, just disclose everything on your background, man. That's the best thing I can do. Think about going lease. Would it be better to do it when I'm ready? Best bet for company or lease. You got to do what's right for you. If you understand the business, understand the freight lanes, um, go to, and I would suggest go and lease. If you're willing to take that risk to get the better pay and kind of little more options that we have, go lease. If if you're not quite getting why you're getting told to deadhead places, understand where good paying freight's at, and way the freight moves throughout this, or I should say, way Prime moves freight around the country. Um, make I would suggest going company for a bit to make sure you can handle it. And also, I personally suggest you go company for at least 3 months before you go over to lease side. That way you understand what it is that you're getting into. Because when you go home, it for the first time by yourself, it's completely different. It's a completely different atmosphere out here when you're going from on a trainer's truck and to onto your own truck. It it I can't explain it. It's like instead of having your dad there with your train taking the training wheels off, it's literally here's your bike, good luck, have fun type deal. So so I always suggest going company first, so that way you make sure you are ready for what you're getting into as a truck driver here at Prime. CDL prep tests 2019 in the app store. So there's a lot of apps out there, man. Get out there and study those. What if they send you home? Can you come back? I believe you can come back. But the whole point is you're gonna nail these, get on these apps and nail these questions down, and you're gonna pass your test by Friday. So don't even get in that mindset that you're gonna get sent home. Get in that mindset that you are going to kick ass on these, on your permit test. You are going to pass, and that you are going to succeed. Don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt yourself. Go out there and kick ass. Alright, Chad commented, I do want to say thank you for your videos and everything. Great advice and your videos to help me get through a PSD as fast as I did with having late nights watching your videos, and your videos were part of my research to run Prime's great experience so far. Me feel like you, and thank you. No problem, Chad. That's why I do these videos. I mean, if it's one thing you take away from me, um, if I can help you gain knowledge on one thing, that's what I'm here for. That's why I did up the pre-trip videos. I know there's a couple things that they changed, but it's even if you missed everything that they changed, you're still going to pass your CDL test right now. So, Prime Company trucks governed for a certain speed. Yes, it is. The company is 58 pedal, 62 by cruise. Lease is mine's 65 on both. I think some they have it 62, 65. I'm not sure though, but mine is 65 on pedal and cruise. Tim has general knowledge, air brakes. It's okay. General knowledge, air brakes, combination, and tanker. You got to take your tanker test, which is like 10 questions. And I think like only like 2 or 3 of them are actually about tanker. The rest are general knowledge. So, thank you. I believe it's also practice as you do online too. Yeah, just get online between those apps and just start cranking out those questions until literally you almost know those questions verbatim on exactly what they're looking for. Because a lot of it's like the PSI numbers and stuff like that get you through everything. Sorry, this cold sucks. Stephen comment, and hazmat is not optional. I never got my hazmat. They were kind of pushing it when I came through. But with the accounts I've been on, it's never been required. So I've never had hazmat. So that's kind of one good thing. I don't think the pay is worth all the extra headache. Okay, I figured that's how it was. Prime people in automatic truck, but you can do that. Give me a sec. Red Bull to the rescue. Alright. So as far as testing in an automatic or manual, I don't know if you can request a manual or not. I've been out of that testing part for a little bit. From what I heard, you're testing out on you're testing out in your trainer's truck. So whatever you've been driving, that's what you're going to be testing. So I did up a video kind of talking about it. Is this, if you're going to go through, let's say you come in, your PSD instructor has an automatic. You have the same instructor or a different instructor for TNT, and it's an automatic truck. And then you go out you get your own truck, and it's an automatic. You get your year experience. You go to leave. Even if you tested in a manual for that 2 weeks that you got experience on how to drive a manual, after about a year of just driving automatic, you are barely going to remember how to drive that manual. So when you go to that other company, and it's the same way at Prime, come into Prime, or it used to be, that you actually had to take a road test or jump on the simulator and demonstrate that you can drive that truck. So whether or not you have that restriction or not, it's not going to make a difference if you can't drive a manual, if that makes sense. So don't let that scare you away. Because if you're looking at going to a company and the only experience you have is automatic, and you're looking to go into a company that's nothing but manuals, either they're going to have to train you on how to drive a manual, or they're going to say, sorry, we're not going to hire you. So it's going to be a little interesting out there in the industry here in the next couple of years, when a lot of companies, not just Prime, are literally, everyone's getting the automatic restriction on their license. So it's going to be an interesting change in the industry. Stephen, make sure you focus extremely hard on the brake test portion. Yep. Air brake test is kind of get to know those parts real good, and all those PSIs and all that numbers. It's true. Stephen, last thing I heard before the Prime is they want you testing on a manual so that you don't have. They kind of did away with that, Stephen. You're pretty much testing in your. You can test it automatic now, and that's how people are pretty much getting perfect scores on their driving test now. So. Yeah, Chad said in Salt Lake City, I believe that they're only testing automatic. So it's really all depends on the truck that you're in, and I don't know if you can get a pad truck now to test in a manual, just because to not have that restriction. Because even if you go 4 weeks, so let's break this down. You spend a week to learn how to drive manual for your test, then you're going to be going out 6 to 8 weeks, call it 10 weeks, with your TNT instructor, with your automatic. So after 10 weeks, and then even if you were to jump back into a manual, it's going to be a pain in your arse to try and figure out how to drive that manual, because literally you only had a week experience 10 weeks ago on how to drive a manual. And then please don't be anywhere near me when you get on your first mountain grade. That's why I personally believe that automatic restriction is a good thing if you train in an automatic truck. It's going to save your life and possibly someone else's life. So I don't mean to sound like an a-hole about that, because a lot of people get pissed because that automatic restriction on your license, you're not trained on a manual truck. You don't have experience in a manual truck. You shouldn't be driving a manual truck. Mary, come and enjoy your videos. I learned so much. Hey, I appreciate watching, Mary. I hope you enjoy my videos. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and all that fun junk. Brad says, evening, everybody. How's it going, Brad? Tim says hello. David agrees with me about the automatic restrictions. I don't mean to sound like a dick about it to you guys. It's just it's kind of one of the things I truly believe in. If you're not trained in a certain field, you shouldn't be doing it. It's kind of like if you only trained on how to stick weld, why are you trying to MIG weld? It's two different beasts. Or like if you only been trained as a vet, why you're trying to do surgery on a human? Kind of that type of thing. It's kind of, you got to work for it and understand what you're getting into and actually how to control this vehicle, because one mistake with this, you are going to either kill yourself or, heaven forbid, you're going to kill someone else. Tim, thank you for the info. Much appreciated. No problem, man. Hopefully I can help you guys out. David, exactly. That's how I feel about it too. It's sucky that a lot of the higher up stuff you can get into from the other, like moving up into different companies, require a manual. It's just they're going to have to learn how to adapt to what's coming out, because there's going to be a lot of schools that are going to be switching over to automatics too. So they're going to have to learn how to adjust with the times. Chad said most friends I have talked to leasing from other companies, and they're all going automatics anyways. Yeah, a lot of the major carriers are all going to automatics. It's even trickling down. I was at Bowerman is one of the companies I was at today talking with them. They have 60 trucks to their fleet right now. Super awesome looking trucks, awesome design on their new trucks. You'll see in the video that I'll post up later. But anyways, all their new trucks are automatics. It's for the fuel economy, the reliability, and everything else into that truck. A lot of companies are switching to autos. Brad, you ever talk to anyone who has done PSD out of Pittston? I highly recommend you do not do your PSD out of Pittston right now. They do not have the facility built, and from what I heard, the third party where you are testing at is only testing once a week. So if you failed let's say you failed your pre-trip test, you have to wait a week to retest. So it's kind of a huge pain in the ass about it. So I'm trying to watch my swearing. One of the things I'm trying to work at is not swear like a trucker. So so I highly recommend, if you can, get to Springfield for training. It's a better facility, it's got a lot more there, and it's also a better training program, because I don't like the fact that they're using a third-party site. But once Pittston gets their testing site actually up and going, their training site, it's going to be a whole lot different. So I will let you guys know when that happens. I don't even know where they're at in the process of it. So I'll do some research into it and let you guys know. See, you enjoy my videos. Hey, I appreciate you enjoying my videos, man. That's kind of what I do. As I said, if I help one person, I help one person. If I help 20 people, awesome. So, got a whole whopping 4 people in here on YouTube. Yay. I will be doing more live videos, especially now that I've got this set up where I can go live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. It's kind of awesome. As I said, if you see me looking this side, this is where I've got the chat up, and it's showing me both of the messages, so that way same videos going to both sites. Andrew Monroe says, hey, how's it going, Andrew? Only bad thing is I can't see your picture, so I can't really remember who you are. So, but Steven says, hey to Andrew. So that's why I'm kind of reading back the comments, so that way, my YouTube viewers can hear or see or hear when I'm replying to what questions are being asked from Facebook, and vice versa from Facebook to YouTube. So, Not sure if they will send me with being down the block, so to speak, from Pittston. Yeah. Brad, from what I understand, I think Pittston's really only being set up for people who either have their CDL already or they recent like graduates and stuff. They are doing some testing out there, but I think it's a really small number of people that they are bringing into that terminal. I think they're doing it more of the people from like the upper Northeast, like Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, New York, stuff like that. Even though you're real close, even talk with your recruiter, and you can also just say, "Hey, can I get to the Springfield?" And I know I'm real close to Pittston, but I would highly suggest getting to Springfield over going through the headache. Or you can talk with your recruiter or your trainer and test out in Springfield versus Pittston. So see how that works out. But I think with that, to test out in Springfield, you have to have a Missouri permit, so it's kind of a bit of a headache. So I don't know how the permit test works up in Pittston, if you have to have a Pennsylvania permit or not. So, but yeah, I would highly recommend you going to Springfield. David, you're welcome, man. I've been watching your videos since you started a live video. I ain't going nowhere no time soon. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I also try to stay out of the drama and the headache of it and just being putting factual videos out there. So I try and help you guys as best I can. So, coming up on almost 52 minutes now, so I'll be live for another 8 minutes. So, any more questions or anything? I'll be finding certain topics. I'll probably do a lot more live videos now that I've got the software set up where I can be on both. Because I know some people don't have YouTube, don't want to deal with YouTube, or some people don't want to deal with Facebook. So it makes it a lot easier to get a lot more views out to my videos. So. Home state from what I was told is they told me to get my medical card and permit. Yeah, so that's pretty much going to guarantee they're going to bring you into Pittston. It just get all the information. I don't know if it's only 1 day a week that they can test out or 2 days a week. Get all that information out so you know what to expect. Because I think it's either 1 or 2 days that they test out at that third party. So make sure you understand what you're getting into if you fail. The whole point of going in the test is make sure you pass the first time, but understand what happens if you fail. It's going to be another week, so kind of get that info. Am I going live again tomorrow? Or are you going to upload a video? Once I am off of this one, I've got my vlog one I did today of walking up the street to Conley and Bowerman Trucking. I cut out the walk back because otherwise it was going to be almost an hour-long video. Right now it stands, I think it's about 36, 37 minutes. So it's a pretty long video, but kind of cool, especially the Bowerman trucks. So, as far as going live tomorrow, it all depends on when my load is and how tired I am and all that. So, but I will be going live on both of these since I can do them at the same time now a lot more often, at least minimum once a week, probably 2 or 3 times a week. I plan on going live and going over issues and stuff like that. One of my other live videos I'll probably do up is I'm gonna go on an ELD rant on people hating ELDs. So that one's gonna be a fun one. David asks, if you have never backed a trailer up before, is it hard to back up or is it kind of easy? At first, it's going to be intimidating as hell. It's going to be scary, but that's what your trainer's there for, is to help you out. Once you start understanding how to turn the wheel to move the trailer, do it up and do everything in slow motion. Don't need to be in a hurry. I said not yesterday, my other live feed. When you're backing up, don't be afraid to pull up. When in doubt, pull it out. Reset up your backup and retry it. The last thing you want to be doing is ramming everything and causing damage to other people's equipment or your equipment. So when in doubt, pull it out, reset it up, do it again. If it takes you an hour to get into a spot, but you don't hit anything, who cares? It's gonna come with time. Patience and repetition are the biggest things the way you're gonna learn. Is just keep backing and backing and backing and backing. So that's why in training as a PSD, make sure you are backing out on the road. If you're not, you need to be talking with your fleet manager about it, and talking with the training department, because you need to get as much backing experience as you can get. I've heard of students that never were allowed to back up as TNT, so all of a sudden when they go out on their own, they were freaking left to the world to freaking try and park, and they didn't understand it. I don't get it. That student needs to be doing about 95% of all the backing. Find yourself an empty parking lot sometimes. If you don't have a load, or if you got extra time and load, stop on a truck stop. Park in one spot, back it in. As soon as you're back in, pull it out, go down, back into a different one. Turn around, come back, go into that first one. Is that you need the most time, as much time as you can get your hands on with your trainer to help you out to understand backing. It's the best advice I get it for you. Steven, we need to meet up again soon. Yeah, you need to get out of that upper northwest, because I ain't going that way. So, you can head back towards the southeast. You can let me know. We can meet up. Try truck parking sim. Kind of helps you understand how to turn the steer turn. Yeah. Alright, there's probably a nice little simulation thing out there. Like in our sim lab too, you'll run through backing on that. So it's kind of gets you the basic of it. It's not 100% of the feel. The feel of the truck is so much different than that sim lab. But that sim lab helps you understand the basics of what you need to do. Alright, awesome. Yeah, that's a bunch of BS. If your trainer doesn't let you went back most of the time. Oh, you're crashing things. Yep. And I've seen it. I've seen the arguments. I'd rather have my student wake me up, especially during TNT. Wake me up, me be grumpy or pissed off or whatever I'm going to be because you just woke me up. But I'd rather you wake me up than me dealing with you hitting something. Because here's a little truth for you guys that's not talked about that much. If you hit something as a student, you're not responsible for those damages. Your lease driver is responsible for if your trainer is lease, he's responsible for all those deductibles. Now he can request that you or ask you to pay those deductibles, but he can't force you. So that's kind of one of those risks that if you're thinking about being a trainer, understand that you are in charge of all those deductibles if your student screws something up. And that's why I always made sure that my students wake me up when they go to back in. I'd rather you wake me up, not me go right back to bed than, again, dealing with the headache of me hitting something. David, they wasn't trained right. Yep, that's kind of the process out here. If you get a bad trainer, you need to say something. Don't just go sweep it under the rugs just because you're like, oh, I just want to get through this process so I can get my own truck. You need to report what's going on, because otherwise they're going to keep doing what they're doing and screw over the next guy and the next guy and the next guy. Chad asks, how is the weather your way? Well, let me open the window. Truck sitting in front of me. It's about, let me look at the temperature. Tell you 6 seconds. It is 39 degrees. I can't tell if it's cloudy or not, but It's not raining or anything, so it's nice and clear. As I said, I went for that walk. It was about up to Bowerman from the Loves was about just over a mile. It's 1.1 miles, so it ended up being a 2.2 mile walk for me. So I'm going to be getting out of the truck a lot more, and that's what the point of my kind of changing the name too is. Going to be doing a lot more vlog stuff, getting out of the truck and going checking things out. When a person gets at home, if something like that happens, all right. Depending on what you did as a student, say something happens, you hit something, cause some damage, you're not going to be sent home. For most of the time, it depends on the situation. Most of the time, what's going to result is you're going to end up with 10,000 more miles you're going to have to do, and that's dispatch miles, not just you. So another 10,000 dispatch miles. Now, if you continually to hit things over and over again, first off, your traders are probably going to get a little pissed with you, but then that's when you're probably trying to get routed through the yard, get an evaluation, and figure out why you keep hitting things. You might go back out with another trainer, and then at that point, you might go out to going home. So I've had a couple of students hit. Now it's also a difference between hit and rub. I've rubbed trailers. I've had students kind of rub trailers. As long as there's no major damage or anything else like that, it's kind of a different story. But if it comes down to major damage where it's got to get reported and set in, usually the first one's kind of just an extra 10,000 miles, but it also depends on the situation and stuff like that. You get caught, let's just say, you swerve off the road, you roll your truck, and it determines that you were on your phone distracted driving, then more than likely you're probably going to be sent home for distracted driving. So it's all about the situation and what happened. But most of the time it's just going to result in more mileage. Steven says, nice and clear out here. Where are you at, Steven? That's pretty dang cold. It's about the same here in Florida. Actually, the guy at Bowerman was kept asking if I wanted to ride back. But I'm like, I'm originally from Illinois. This is like beautiful winter weather. This is actually warm. So usually we're out playing football and everything in the snow. So I can deal with 30s. It's 20s and all that kind of get to me. Have you thought about buying a drone and doing some drone videos? I have. I've been doing the research on them. Drones are kind of a different beast because of all the laws around them, and all aspects. Because let's use Junior as an example. He could actually get in trouble for his drone footage because it's on his monetized YouTube channel and Facebook. Or not, Facebook's not monetized, but if it's on his YouTube and it's monetized, that's actually considered, he needs to have a commercial license to fly the drone for it. You can actually get into severe trouble. The laws on drones are freaking ridiculously stupid, and they keep changing. So before I spend the money on a good drone, so it's going to be at least $1,000 plus for all what I've been looking at getting. I want to make sure I understand the laws and everything else on how the drones work before I get myself in trouble, because then you're also involved in the FAA. So I don't want those headaches in my life. Steven's sitting in Barstow. You can have fun with that. That's one thing you don't want to be on your phone driving with your car. People shouldn't be on their damn phones. Yes, put your phones away, drive the car. It's not that hard, people. Yeah, Brad, nicer than up here, that's for sure. 25 mile per hour winds. Yesterday was pretty freaking windy out here, but today it's not too bad. The wind's not that bad at all. So Yeah, the wind this year has been kind of crazy. Yeah, it's because it's on that, David, with the drones. It's they were changing the law so much that literally it doesn't even matter the size of the drone that um, they want you to take a class. You have to have the papers with you on at all times. They are trying to push for some crazy regulations on drones. That's why I said I want to make sure I'm well versed in the drone laws before I attempt to do it. As I said, they were even pushing to, if you make one, not even make money on it. So say you asked me to use my drone to shoot footage of your truck, that would actually be classified as a commercial flight. And so it's kind of really stupid on how that stuff works. Um, but that's why I want to make sure I understand the laws before I get into it. Speaking of wind and stuff here in Florida, since Hurricane Mitchell hit us, we're getting rain nonstop, and it's crazy. I stand you on that. Yeah, the ever since that hurricane came through, even in the southeast, the weather pattern's been kind of crazy. I like, but don't. DJI Mavic Pros, yeah. Um, yeah, that's pretty much what you're looking into. I've heard some issues with DJI stuff, that freaking hardware updates all the time. That's why I kind of want to make sure, I mean, understand the laws, but understand which one would be better for me to get. So, all right, so we've been going for an hour and 7 minutes. Anyone have any more questions or anything that you want me to talk about real quick? Otherwise, we're gonna get out of here, and I'll let you guys all get some sleep. I do appreciate everyone that's came in, BS'd, hang out. Um, if you haven't already, I changed my my YouTube channel name. They allowed me to change it, but I couldn't change my Facebook page name. So I sent out a lot of requests, but if you're on like YouTube and you're not on any of my pages or anything, could you please go over and like my Facebook page? It's the same name as my YouTube channel. It's JACast Vlogs. And just hit the like button on there, so that way either you can watch me on YouTube or watch me on Facebook. So, and also that's where all my Instagram pictures and stuff like that are be going over to, and all my kind of weird trucking posts and stuff and posts are going to be going to is over to that page, and kind of more off of my personal page. So, and I wins when you actually call it stuff. Chad, for trucking, when I call it and stop, when I don't feel comfortable. Um, Now, I had one of those where I was blessed. Somebody was looking out for me. I was traveling from Reno to, I don't remember where it was. Let's just say north and east of there. So I had to head, um, no, yeah, east for a little bit, then I had to head straight north. They had winds out. It wasn't so bad going east, but when I hit north, um, I actually got hit with a wind gust, and there was actually a prime driver behind me with my empty trailer, and it hit so hard that it actually put the trailer up onto two wheels. And I'm talking about, it was, passenger side came up, and the tires were at least that far off the ground. So that was from there that I pulled over, nosed into the wind, and I parked for the night. It, I should have stopped sooner. I was kind of pushing it. From there, wind's kind of been one of my kind of, let's just say I'm super cautious in wind now. Fully loaded, I it all depends on how it feels. If the roads are good, I've dealt with high winds fully loaded, but again, it depends on your comfort level. If it's pushing you around too much, shut it down. Especially out in Wyoming and all that. If they have a light trailer warning, um, if they have a light trailer warning or anything else like that, and say you don't have a light load, but you have a medium to light load, I would suggest just parking it. Always err on the side of caution. It's better to get the load rescheduled than trying to pick it up out of the ditch. So that's what I would say about that. Tim, thank you for time. Take care. All right, Tim. Yeah, as I said, in a couple minutes here, I'm signing out. And thanks for subscribing, man. Have a good one, man. Safe out there. God bless. See you next video, bro. Have a good night. Already went over and liked your new picture. All right. Hey, David. Thanks. Appreciate it so much. Yeah, that was a scary. That's probably one of my personal scariest situations out here on the road. Is almost getting blown over because of the wind. So. All right. So, anyone else has got anything else? I'm gonna call it a night. As I said, make sure on YouTube, if you're not subscribed already, can you please hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notifications I go live, or go over to my Facebook page and hit the like button on my Facebook page. That way you get notifications when I go live on there too. So with that being said, again, thank you all for coming in, watching me ramble for an hour. I highly appreciate it, and I will be uploading my vlog video from today, probably within, I don't know, however long it takes to upload. So that'll be coming out tonight. So, all right, everyone, stay safe, and I will probably talk to you in the next couple days.